Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Hope you're having a great Sunday afternoon here. I'll wait just a few minutes so people can start joining. Today I'm going to sew up a Marilyn wallet. This is not a new pattern. This is an older one from LindsHandmade. And on my Facebook swap group, it's called SiahSwag Squad. I can link the group link below after I'm done in the description. This is the wallet that we're swapping these next 2 months. So we all, draw a partner and we all make a wallet for somebody. It's super fun. Oh, thanks, Brittany. Hi, Brittany. Thank you. Brittany just posted the link for the group. And some people were kind of struggling with the card slots on this and the zipper tabs. So I just wanted to come on here and make one for everybody. It's actually been a while since I've made one, so I might struggle a bit too. I don't know. This is kind of my practice one for the swap as well. So I kind of have it fresh in my memory and I can do a little bit better one for my partner. So there are just a couple things that I have changed when I make this wallet. Yay, hi everybody. Oh good, we're getting a good group. Hi Kelly, I'm glad you caught me live. I changed the way the zipper is done on this wallet. I don't love the fact, so on the pattern she has it sewn into the sides, and when she does it, she gets it to look so nice. I have done it many times and I can never get my top zipper tabs to look pretty. So what I do is I finish my zipper tabs completely. Right, here it is. So I've already got my zipper tabs on there. So it's finished. And so when I sew my zipper on, I'm going to be keeping the zipper tab completely out of my seam allowances. I'm not even going to be sewing this in my seam allowance. So you kind of have a better finished edge on that if that's something you struggle with. Okay, yay. Hi, everybody. Good, we got a good group. The other thing I, not really change, but you kind of play with is the placement of this lock. I have placed it too high and there's not been enough room for things to be filled into it. I have placed it too low and it's too big. So you kind of have to find that sweet spot. And I will show you how to do that. Yay! I know I never get on Sundays. So my little kids are gone with my husband. It's quiet. So I figured this was a great time for a live. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take you over to the iron and we're going to work on the card slots real quick. I've kind of got them already done and I'm gonna show you how I do it. So I'm gonna just move my camera over here and I'll go over the pieces as I'm sewing. I'm not gonna do that right now. I'll do it as I'm going. So these are my card slots. It's just one big long piece, okay? Because we are going to end up cutting this in half. And I'm going to show you how I folded this. So you have to make some markings, and if you want to do it her way, you make a little template. I've had this template cut out forever, since the first time I've done it. It's just like out of an old plastic Dollar Tree placemat. That's all it is. I do some of my patterns out of this stuff and when I have the time, and it makes great pattern pieces. You want to mark a line on this template that she has a 1/2 inch down. So that's my guideline. Get your card slot piece. Hi everybody, yay. Get your card slot piece and you're going to mark 2 inches down first on both sides here. And then you're gonna mark another 6 inches down here. So from the top to this mark, it's 8 inches total, right? So you have a 2 inch mark and a 6 inch mark. So you're going to lay this right side up. Hi, Nicole. You're gonna lay this right side up. You're going to pinch where you did that 6 inch mark, which is a total of 8 inches down. You're gonna pinch right there. and you're gonna bring that up to that 2-inch mark. That's your first fold, and you'll iron. Then you'll get this little handy dandy template, okay? You're going to put the top of the template on the top of that fold. Okay, that's the top of my fold. And you can like get clips there and clip it into place if you want so it stays still. However you want to do it. And then you're going to take this bottom part and you're going to fold it up to that line. Okay. And you kind of want to get it as straight as you can right there to that 1/2 inch line that's marked on this template right there. And you're going to iron it. And you're going to keep doing that along the whole card slot. So template there. Hi, everybody. Bring it up to that black line, 1/2 inch line, iron it. Okay, you're going to keep doing that until you have 5 total folds. Okay, so those are my 5 folds. You are going to have extra. She gives a lot of these pieces in this pattern. You will be cutting down because she gives you extra room to make mistakes pretty much. So you will be trimming a few pieces down in this pattern. So don't be like, oh no, I think I did it wrong. You didn't. You just have to trim. All right. So I have not interfaced these yet. So I'm going to take these and fold them over. Okay. I just put the clips there so they didn't really move. And then I have my interfacing strips here. I'm just showing you the way she has in the pattern. You can do this differently if you would like to. I am just following what she has here. So I am going to place this, and I want it about 1/4 of an inch in from the side. Okay. Hi guys. Ooh, it's a great pattern. You really should try it if you haven't. And I think it's just 1/4 inch in, which is about right there. Okay. And I've got it about 1/2 inch down from my top. Right there. And I'm just going to iron that. Okay. You can have these interfaced first. Just think about the thickness of your card slots because you want to be able, you definitely want to keep it out of your seam allowances if you're putting it on before. And if you want to top stitch your card slots, do that before you do this too. I'm not going to top stitch these ones. Get this nice and on there. Okay. So that's what my card slots look like. All right, so I am going to take this to my machine now. All right, so woo, here we go. I think that's all I have to iron. All right, let's get all of this situated. Sorry, give me a second. Here we go. All right. Let me know how that view is. I think that's about where I usually have it. Okay, now I can look at your comments too. I couldn't really look at them while I was doing that. Okay. Brittany, yeah, sometimes I have that issue too with my industrial, eating my cotton. So just go ahead and interface it. Okay, and I am not doing, so if you're doing an ID slot too, you can do that. I'm not going to because I couldn't find my clear vinyl. I totally was, but I couldn't find my vinyl. All right, so we are going to trim this down. Do we trim it down yet? Sorry, I'm just reading over. Finished. It usually tells me what my finished, there it is. Measuring from the top. Yeah, they're supposed to be 8 inches high, and I know mine's bigger. Marilyn, yes, this is named after you. So I will show you, this is bigger than it needs to be. Thank you, Brittany. All right, so it needs to be 8 inches total when you're done tall. So see how much I have to trim off? So that's okay. She gives you that extra. All right, there we go. 8 inches tall. Now I'm just going to baste, and I need to measure in. Three inches in from each edge. Three. Okay, here we go. Now I'm gonna sew down my sides to baste this down, and then I will be cutting, well, I'll be sewing along these lines and then cutting this in half. All right, and on card slots, I like to sew from the bottom up because I feel like when you sew it from the top down, they tend to shift. So just make sure that your card slots are staying in place. And you just have to baste to where those card slots end. You don't have to baste the whole entire length of it, right? And then I'm gonna baste this side here. Yay. This wallet is actually pretty easy once you get it down. It is not very scary at all. So now I'm going to baste down those 3-inch lines here, and then I'm going to cut these card slots in half. They're not moving, so I'm coming down on them this way. It's fine. All right, so those are my card slots. Now I want to cut those in half. And does it say, I'm trying to pay really good attention to like all the measurements for you guys, but it doesn't give an ending. Yeah, so this should be good. All right, so I'm going to cut these card slots in half. You can top stitch the folds, Krista. Let me get a different rotary. You can top stitch them. You don't have to. She doesn't in the pattern. I've done it both ways. I don't think one way is better than the other. It depends what look you like, I suppose. Okay. Yeah, so you can top stitch each card slot if you want. I am not going to. It doesn't say to in the pattern, and I actually carry around my wallet like this, and it works just fine not top stitched. So it's personal choice. My industrial, because it's just cotton, like Brittany said, it doesn't do that great with just stitching through cotton, which is why I tend to not do it. So it's preference. It's up to you. Okay, so now I want to take these two pieces. They're called card accent pieces. This is piece 1. And I have some Peltex fused to one side of each piece. All right, so I want to take my card slot face down on the part with my Peltex, and I am going to sew this down at 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. Okay. Let me double check, make sure I'm doing everything okay. There we go. Yeah. So most of this pattern is 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. Okay. All right. So it's going to be going that way. And then I want to open that up, and I want to take my card accent pieces, okay? They're just these tiny little strips. And I'm going to sew those on the other side of my card slot here at 1/4 of an inch seam allowance as well. Again, I'm just really reading these instructions to make sure I'm telling you the right things. Yep. Okay. 1/4 of an inch. All right. Just like that. So when you're done, what you're going to do is you're going to fold this over to the back. You're going to kind of clip that into place there, and it's going to make one part like that. And this edge is my Peltex edge, okay? And we'll stitch that all down. So I'm going to go ahead, and you want to top stitch 4 high and 4 wide. You want it to be 4 inches wide and 8 high, which mine is. Okay. And I will top stitch this all together as one. And you want to do it away from the card slots. You don't want to top stitch on your card slots. All right. Sorry, I need to press this away. There we go. Okay, I'm going to top stitch this one first. I'm lining it up with my back piece. Here we go. Yeah, Jeanette, it does. You can totally do that. Again, I'm just trying to follow what the pattern says to do. You can totally top stitch along those card slots. I just chose not to this time for sake of time. All right, and then you want to do the same thing and top stitch on this side too. Okay, that's what it should look like. This is my Peltex side. This was my accent side, front and back. Okay, now you're gonna repeat with this other one, but just make sure that you're doing it the opposite way, because you want this to be the inside of each piece. So I wanna do it this way, because then it wraps around like that. And this is the inside piece of my pockets, all right? Hopefully that makes sense. You don't want to do these identical. All right, sewing this on first. Krista B, yes I have. It's just been a while. Gosh guys, I make so many different patterns. I do not memorize all the patterns I make. So if I haven't made something in a while, I have to have a little bit of a refresher. That wasn't quite a fourth. So I remember certain things and I don't certain things. Yeah, Brittany, you made that mistake? Yeah, I've made that mistake too. Okay, so see, when I fold this back, this is my Peltex side, and that's going to be my card accent side. And do you see how they're opposite? Make sure both your card slots are going up and that this Peltex strip is on the inside of these pieces, okay? You could also take this to an iron right now if you really wanted to and press that good. All right, so I'm gonna put this to the opposite side of my card slot here. And again, 1/4 of an inch. Hi, Barbara. Nancy, we just started. You're not late. All right. So give that a good press, and then we want to top stitch again. All right. Right there. Hi, Judy from Australia. Hi, Nancy. I haven't been live in a while, I know. Sorry, guys. Summer's been just a little bit crazy. Oh, Bella. Thank you so much, Bella. All right, and now we want to top stitch on this side. Cindy, I do it all the time. I usually have one practice run and I just go for it. I have made this wallet quite a few times. It's just been a couple months since I've done it. Okay, so here are my card slots. Okay, and the Peltex is on the inside. This is my outside. I am going to just baste this little strip down here too, just so it stays put. Okay, there we go. Hi, Nancy from Kentucky. All right, so I have my card slot pieces. I'm gonna set those aside, I think. Let's see. Yeah, so let's put together our pin slot piece real quick, which is this little, I've got two little pieces here. Okay, I'm going to fold one of them in half, and I'm just going to top stitch along the top here with this piece. I always forget the pin slot when I make this wallet. Seriously, like half the time I forget to add this pin slot. So just put this right on top of that middle piece there, and that's your pin slot, okay? And I'm just gonna baste that down. Okay. There's my pin slot. And then I want to take these pieces. Now, we are going to end up cutting this whole thing down. I think this throws people off as well, because they're like, wait a minute, it's not the right size. You are going to be trimming this piece down as well. So this is your middle piece. So you just want to sew it onto your pin slot here. And this is the center, and you're using a 1/4 inch seam allowance on this. This MTV fabric is from Little Levy's Fabrics. And I think they have a pre-order for it right now, I think. All right, so I'm gonna top stitch my liner on the liner piece, and my seam allowance is going towards that piece as well, okay? All right, and then just go ahead and put the other one on the other side. Hi, Lizzie. It's morning in Australia. Awesome. Just starting your day. Oh, good, Suzette. I'm glad. All right. And then I just need to top stitch that. Again, my seam allowance is going towards this piece for the top stitching. Okay, so here is my liner piece. I should be able to put a pin in there, just like that. Okay, I need a drink. My throat is sore. Okay, so we need to cut this down. Okay, so we're gonna get our little cutting board here. Now it needs to measure 9 total across. So this middle piece should be 1 inch wide. All right. And then you need 4 inches on each side of that. So here is, yep, it's exactly 1 inch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So that's how much I'm cutting off. It's quite a bit. Move that up just a little bit. Okay. All right. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. There's my inch in the middle and my 4 inches here. And then I'm going to cut. Okay. So my piece is 9 inches across. And then it should be 8 high exactly, which I need to trim just a little bit off my height. And then you'll be perfect. Okay, just a little bit off the top. So make sure that you're measuring and making sure your pieces are the correct sizes. All right, so here we go. We're gonna put our little card slots that we did and just baste them onto this piece. So my pin slot is faced up. Ask me if I've done that upside down before. Yep, I have. Okay. All right, so I've got one pin slot, or not pin slot, but card slot on this side. And then one on this side, and they should line up pretty nicely, just like that. Okay, I'm gonna baste these on. So I'm just going to start, and I like to make sure they're straight here along this pin slot. Okay, because you don't want them crooked right there. And I am going to baste this on here. My card slots are facing up, my pen slot is facing up. Everything's going the right direction. And I'm just basting with 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. All right, and then I'll put the other one on. It really is pretty like easy once you get it figured out, this inside liner part. It's pretty straightforward and makes sense after putting it together a couple times. All right. It's 1 at night in Greece. Oh, I'm so sorry. I can never find a time that works for everybody. All right, so there is that's what my inside, when you open my wallet, that's what it's gonna look like. All my fabric is going the correct way. My card slots are going the correct way. My pin slot is up. We are going to put that aside. All right, so let's work on our flap next. Here's my flap pieces. Okay, I've got my flap pieces. I did piece together this middle one. I just what I did was I cut out a full piece out of my center fabric, and then I marked how far in I wanted my vinyl to be. I drew a line and I sewed my vinyl on top, and then I trimmed off the back cotton. That's how I did my flap piece. So I did about 2 inches in, I think, 2.5 maybe. There we go. And then you should have a piece of either Decaville or Peltex cut out and ready to slip in it. I don't know if this will be for my swap partner or not. I haven't had a chance to look to see what she likes and what she doesn't like. So if she doesn't like stuff like this, this is going to be for me maybe. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and sew this together along the curved edges. We're not sewing it along the top because that needs to be open to turn it. Can't find my clips. All right. Thanks for joining. Sorry, hit the chair with me, or hit the tripod with my chair. Okay. So I'm just clipping these together, right sides. Okay, a 1/4 inch seam, Marjorie. Good to know. All right, I sold the MTV bag that went with this. I did sell it. I was happy and sad to see it go. I secretly wanted to keep it for myself. And I go pretty slow around my curved edges. Okay. Happy Sunday, Lisa. Hi, Mary. Hi, Diane. Okay. So you want to get some pinking shears, I think, in my opinion. And especially with your curves here, trim those down. All right. Yeah. Brittany, pinking shears are the bomb.com. They're amazing. All right, so I want to turn this right side out. Somebody sent this to me. Isn't that sweet? It's from Bags by Cat, but it was sent to me by somebody on our group, Patsy. I'm pretty sure it was. So sweet. I actually use it a lot. I'm just kind of getting all my corners pushed out here. I want my flap to look nice. All right, so we want to slip our Peltex in here. Okay. I'm going to slip this in. You may need to trim this down depending on your seam allowance and what you've been doing. But I find that this usually fits pretty snug for me. I don't normally have to trim much. You could totally do a different shape of a flap too. You don't have to do this shape. You could change. I've seen so many different shapes of flaps for this wallet. So definitely be creative with that. Just don't have time right now. My goodness. Okay, so I will tell you one thing from my experience. You do not want whatever you insert in here, Peltex, Decaville Heavy, to be in this seam allowance. If it is in this seam allowance up top, it's going to be super hard to put your wallet together. So make sure that that is out of your seam allowance, okay? Don't just be like, oh, it's fine. It's not. You will be cursing later. All right. So get that in there, and then we are going to top stitch. So I have a good like 1/4 of an inch from the edge of my flap and that Peltex, okay? Or the Decaville is what I used actually. Nancy, how long have I been making bags? Probably started about, I don't even know. My first bag was when Marcus was a baby, so maybe 10 years ago, I think. Okay, so I've got my Peltex in there. I am going to top stitch this. I do not want my foot to tear up my vinyl here. Just a minute. I can feel it, maybe. There we go. Hi from Illinois. Oh, I bet this would be hard with leather. You would have to use a really thin leather. Okay, so if you are doing a turn lock, you can go ahead and close this wallet up at the top, this flap. If you are doing a snap, like a magnetic snap, you need to not sew this up yet because you need to put your snap on. Okay. So here is my flap. Just a minute. There we go. Not quite even in the back. Sorry, just a minute. I want to make sure I get that down. There we go. Now I'm going to put on my twist lock. There's my flap. Okay, don't close that up. If you're doing a magnetic snap, leave that open and slip it down in there first. I'm gonna go ahead and do a turn lock there. This sucker's heavy. Okay. Ah, sorry about that. Here we go. So I have my cam thing, my cam press. I have my shapes. I got them off of Amazon. And I've got my little screwdriver here. This part always makes me nervous, putting holes in my flap, but and it looks like, is this gonna work? I feel like these little screws strip a lot. Like, yeah. This first time I even got this out and the screw is already stripped there. I'm gonna have to grab a different turn lock. Just a minute. I'm gonna have to get my supplies over here. Just a minute. Got it. All right. Let's try a different turn lock. I don't know where I got that other one from, but I will do, this is the kind that I sell on my website. Just a little flip lock. Okay, I can put these pieces aside and take out the screws on this one. There we go. All right, so you kind of want to use this back piece as your guide. And I could kind of feel right there where it's already cut out. I'm going to mark it on the back side. And I want to mark my center as well. It's a, I don't know what it's called, this press on my cam. They're press plates, I believe is what they're called. And they are amazing when you put things like these turn locks on. Okay, a 1/2 inch up, I marked my center. And that's about where we want to be for our lock here, which is right there. I'm gonna go ahead, that looks right. This part always makes me so nervous getting it straight and centered. All right, so I've got that marked out. And then I want to find the right, sorry, I should have done this part ahead of time. Nope. I think it's this one. Yeah, that fits it pretty nicely. I don't know if you can see or not. Okay, so I just have to line this up and it's going to cut it out for me. It's magical. So magical. All right. Looks good. I'm always so nervous. Let me do that again. Make sure I've got it. Okay. Look at that. Ta-da! Cut it out. All right. So then you want to cut out these little holes, and you can use a little hole punch. Mine comes with a tiny little one here. Sorry, are there questions? Yay. Hi, Deborah. Hi, Anna. Thanks for watching, guys. All right, so these holes, you want to make beside it, and then we'll put it all together. Yep, that looks almost perfect, guys. All right. Put one right there. All right, so I don't know, can you see that? I got it all cut out. Awesome, right? So I want to take this front piece and I'm going to be putting it through here. And it should fit pretty nicely. Yep. I'm going to trim just a couple little pieces off here. All right, I'm going to put some fray check on that because I don't want those edges to start fraying everywhere. So just get a little bottle, put it along your edges. It kind of comes out like crazy, but I've learned that it doesn't show up on your fabric once it dries, which is fabulous. Siaholics, I love it. Okay, so I'm going to put that here, and we're going to screw that on. Another little thing I've learned too is I get my stiletto tool and kind of press this piece down, and it kind of helps put everything into place. There we go. You want it this way. There it is. I think for twist locks, half the battle is having, or flip locks, or however, all these little cute little locks, half the battle is having the correct tools. If you have these tools, it goes so much easier. All right. Ah, look at that. Front, back, done. Bam. Okay. I'll put these away and we will continue. I'm always worried when I do locks on a live. Sometimes they don't cooperate. All right. Thanks, Suzanne. All right, here we go. On to the next step. So we are going to attach this flap onto this body piece that we did here. Now, I will tell you before, I have done this the wrong way too. I have accidentally placed my flap upside down because when you close your wallet, it's going to be closing this way. So this flap needs to be right side up, right? Because then you close it and it's like that. Okay, so I'm going to mark my center because you know that I like to clip all of my centers like a maniac here. So I'm going to clip my centers. All right, and so I know, So you want this on the right side of these slots, okay? The right side. And again, I want my flap right side up. Right there, and that should be nice and centered. You should have a little bit on each side. It should look even, okay? We're gonna baste that down. It should be about a 1/2 inch on each side that you have left. We're going to baste that at 1/8 of an inch on the top here. I'm using my rotary cutter is one I actually sell on my website. It's a SiahSwag one. You can find it on my website. Okay, so there is my flap. It's going to be closing like that. So we are going to put on this darn zipper that everybody has issues with next, okay? So like I said at the beginning, I have finished my zipper off with zipper tabs. I am not sewing my tabs into my wallet. I am leaving them out because I don't love the look of the zipper tabs in the side of the wallet like that. So I do mine just a little bit differently on that part. All right, so you want to get this zipper centered, just like everything else. I'm just doing the smallest little tiny clips on my zipper tape. Okay, so you want to lay this right side up. I'm going to lay my zipper wrong side up. So my right sides are together. And I'm going to baste that to my wallet. I did not cut my zipper shorter. It's still cut at 6 inches. I just put on the tabs. Because you could do your zipper a little bit longer, I realized after the fact, but it'll be fine. I think if you did your zipper at a 6.5, it might be a little bit better, and then put on your tabs. It depends on how big your tabs are, all that kind of good stuff. All right. And then you want to take your zipper pocket piece and we're going to sew that on. Right? Just a second. Let me make sure I'm doing this right. Yeah. Okay. I'm doing this at a 1/4 of an inch. And this is what's going to be sewing your flap on. So make sure that you are getting that flap in this seam allowance. Because you want to flip that up and make sure your flap looks good and that it's in there. And it is. It looks good. All right, so you can flip this open like this and top stitch this here if you would like. It does help it lay a little bit better if you want to do that. Hi, Robin. Thanks for watching. Hi, Kalisha. If I miss a question or a comment and it's gone past, please ask it again. I don't mean to ignore anybody. Oh, this cool zipper tape. Oh my gosh, it's the best. Look how cool that is. I just got it from Zorel Fabrics. Ha, I love it. I'm in love with that. Okay, so next step. We want to open our zipper. Sorry, it's taking me a minute. Open your zipper. How do I put the other piece on? Take your main body piece, lay it on top of your completed. Okay, so now we want to get our main body piece. Okay. Yeah, we're sewing that on to this. Okay, sorry. Like I said, it's been a while. So we're going to sew this here and your other piece here, right? Is that right? And then you flip it. No, sorry, just a second, guys. Oh my gosh. I'm having a brain fart here. Over your wallet. I want it on top. And baste it. I think this is right. Oh my gosh, why am I not being able to figure this out? Because when I sew it, yeah. This is where you got confused, Kim? Oh my gosh, why am I not? I usually have no problem with this. It's because I'm live. Okay, take your main body piece. Up and away from the main piece. Top stitch the lining. Take your main body piece. Lay it on top of your completed card slot piece. And baste it to your zipper. Okay. I think that's what I do, guys. And I have my centers marked. That's what I thought. But then I'm like, no, that doesn't make sense. But I think this is how we do it. All right. So I've got my main body piece here and my main body piece here. And that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Give me a second. I'll eventually get it. And now I'm going to baste this to my zipper first. But it keeps moving. Okay, here we go. Baste this together first. It's like people are expecting you to do something and you just forget. Thanks for being patient, guys. All right, here we go. This is it. And then I want to put my zipper pocket piece on top of this. And we are going to sew that on. Yes. This is it. And again, I'm using a 1/4 inch seam allowance on when I do it both pieces. I need to get my zipper out of the way here. All right. Yes, this is right, guys. This is right. Okay, so this is what you have, right? And then your pocket is down here. Okay, I am going to top stitch, but I'm just going to lining to the zipper tape only. I'm only going to top stitch, that's what I should have done on the other one, where my zipper is. I'm not taking it all the way to the end. I'm just doing it by my zipper. Does that make sense? Hopefully. So I'm just doing along my zipper here. And my pocket is pulled down. Okay, here we go. That's right. We got it. We're almost done. Almost done already. All right, so here's what we have. That's where I just top stitched. Got my zipper in the middle there. I got this on one side of the zipper. I've got my pocket on the other side, okay? Now, we are going to sew this all together. I'm gonna drink. Okay. So you want to have your zipper pockets pulled out like this. And we are going to sew this all up. And I like to line this up here. All right. My seams here. And then this up here. Actually, I'm going to open that seam is what I'm going to do. I think that might lay nicer. I always try different things. I'm not sure what makes the best seam on this yet. I think I try something different every time. So I'm going to lay that one open. Okay. There we go. That's the most important seam to match up on this wallet, I do believe. How is that not? Oh, I matched it with the wrong part. And like, that's not lining up. There we go. All right. And then you just want it, you are going to round your corners down here. I will be cutting that just a little bit down at the bottom. So I am going to follow that outside liner part of my wallet. Okay, that's what you should have. We are going to get this sewn. So the biggest thing, actually, you know what? I'm going to leave this undone because we want to make sure that we don't sew our flap into our seam allowance right here, right? So I am going to come in here and I'm just going to fold my flap out of the way while I sew this side up. I'll put it back and then I'll reach in and fold this side out of the way as well. Does that make sense? Hopefully. All right, and then I know we do different seam allowances on this. So 1/2 inch and 1/4 inch. We're going to do a 1/2 inch here. We're going to switch to 1/4 inch down here. And then we're going to go back to a 1/2 inch up here. Yep. Okay. So let's do it. Where is my, there it is. Come on. I need to help it over that hump there. Helps if you put something behind your foot here to help it over bigger areas. You see how much nicer that went over? I'm gonna flip that flap down, flip that flap, and pull it back up over here. I'm gonna put a couple more clips on, get it back into place. Okay. Now right here, we're going to come up and switch to about 1/4 inch seam allowance. And then you want to go back to that 1/2 inch. Yeah, and she does suggest if you can't get around this part to switch to a narrow foot, like a zipper foot, and that will help. But mine can make it just barely. All right, here's the true test, huh? So I'm going to trim down all of my seam allowances here. So I want to, especially on my curves, I'm going to use these pinking shears. Do I have a seam guide on my, yes, I do have a seam guide on my plate. I was able to find one for my machine. It's been fabulous. Yes, so you put on the lock after we sew all this because we don't close it up yet and we're going to be sticking it in there just so you can figure out where exactly to place it. She puts it on after the fact. If you know exactly where you want it, you could totally put your turn lock on before. But it's kind of nice to be able to kind of figure out where you want it at. Okay, so what I'm going to do, which isn't in the pattern, I'm going to do a second row of stitching. I actually have a wallet where the stitching is coming out a tiny bit on it. And I think it's because I didn't, I didn't open my zipper either. Oh, come on. My zipper's not wanting to open. I forgot to open my zipper. So I'm going to unstitch this real quick. It is not wanting to budge. Make sure your zipper is open. I think this is like a locking zipper head or something. I don't know. I found it in my stash and it doesn't move very easily. Come on. Oh my gosh, guys, my zipper won't open. What the heck? Oh, the joys of doing it live. Where is my zipper? There it is. Oh, got it. It is, I think it's a locking zipper, guys. It only goes if the pull is over here or something. I don't even know. I don't even know, guys. There. Phew, got it open. Okay, so I'm going to do a second row of stitching right by my first row of stitching. And I need to stitch this back up, obviously, to give a little extra security and strength on my wallet. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. And it looks like I sewed my flap in. I'm just doing everything right here. Did I? Oh, I didn't. Okay, good. I'm like, how did I sew my flap in? Phew. All right, let me stitch this back up real quick. All right, I'm gonna go around a second time, really close to that first stitch line that I did, and just make sure I've got everything. Okay, sorry about that. So make sure your zipper's open. Make sure you don't sew your flap in. I didn't sew my flap in, I just thought I did. All right, so let's turn this. All right, make sure you get those edges all turned out really good. Now, I have seen people top stitch this whole outside piece, and you could do that. Again, just make sure all of your corners are poking out good. Ooh, it looks good. The corners look good. Okay. And then poke out where your zipper's at here. Get all of that situated. I actually think my zipper was cut at 6 inches. And my zipper tabs were 1.5 by 1.5. And I think actually that was the perfect sizing. Because look at that. That was a good sizing. So 6 inches on the zipper. And do your finished zipper tabs with it. And I think you're good to go. All right. So next we want to put in our Peltex piece or your Decaville Heavy or whatever it is you're using. I'm just going to push my pocket in for right now. We are going to close that up in a minute. I'm just going to push that in so we can see what everything looks like. Ooh, I like it. I got a thread piece sticking out there. All right. When my Peltex Decaville Heavy piece is in, this will lay flatter and better. Okay. Oh, cute. That is my wallet. I did put this on ahead of time. So what you want to do next is you want to put in your Peltex piece first. And you may have to trim that down a little bit. And then you want to add whatever type of lock you're doing to this piece here, but you're going to be putting it through the Peltex piece to give it a little bit extra. So I'm going to fold this up like this, and I'm going to slip it down in there. I may have to trim it down a little bit. I don't know yet. Okay. Actually, it fits pretty dang good because I stuck to all of the seam allowances. You want to make sure that is all the way to this bottom piece. And it just really gives your wallet more structure. Oh yeah. Okay, so there's my Peltex. See, now it's got even more of that feel to it. Oh, it's gonna be so cute. All right, so if you want, here's what you can do too. You can go ahead and top stitch this all here and around if you feel like your machine can handle it. I would just be concerned about going over these Peltex piece areas. Okay, so just be concerned about that. All right, so I'm going to take my twist lock or flip lock here, and I want to get this put on. So I'm going to put this all back together here real quick. And here's the part that, oh, I can get this all in there. You want to make sure that you're giving yourself enough room to have a full wallet, right? So you don't want to be like, oh, that's good, I'm going to place it right there. You want to, you could even put some stuff in it. That's what I usually do. This is my son's old phone here. What else can I put in it? You want to just slide some things in it to make sure that you're giving yourself enough room. Can I put in it? I don't even know. Because when everything's in there, it's going to be pretty thick, right? So you want to give yourself a little bit. I like to kind of hold it out. I don't know about you, but I usually have a pretty full wallet. And then I am going to kind of mark where I think that should go. I think that looks good. It's got a little bit, I shouldn't talk with a lid in my mouth. It gives it a little bit of space there, okay, for filling it with money and receipts and cards. I think that's kind of perfect right there. Okay, so that's where I want my lock to go. And now I just need to center that up. Make sure I've got it in the middle there. So it's just about 7 inches wide when it's done. Okay, so I want to do 3.5 right there, about right there. Perfect. Okay. And then I'm going to be putting this through my Peltex, so, or my Decaville, whatever you want to call it. Decaville Heavy Peltex. I'm going to be putting this lock through that. And I've got my fingers spread here, so I won't be cutting them. And then here's my lock. Make sure you've got the right lines. I've done the wrong ones before. Another thing that I've done is I put a mat through, a little tiny cutting mat through this while I'm doing this part. So that's what I'm hitting when I cut it, and that works too. Right there. So put this piece on the back. This piece can be a little tricky, kind of reaching in there and getting it all together. And then I do like to try and slide a piece of tape in. To put over my prongs and protect my prongs. So just like I would on anything else. This is a marking pencil I got from Lauren Mormino's website. It's not a pencil, it's like a pen. And it works great on darker material. And it comes off super easily with water. I really like it. All right, so I'm just gonna cover that up, and then all I have to do is sew up the pocket and we're done. That wasn't horrible. I only had a couple of mistakes. Not really mistakes, a couple of issues where I forgot what I was doing. All right, this is just duct tape. I'm just covering my prongs in there with it, so it doesn't tear any of my fabric on the other side here. Oh my goodness. I love it. All right, so I'm just going to close up this pocket. Which I should have, if you wanted to earlier on, iron this all down. It would have been a little bit easier, but that's okay. We just gotta close this sucker up. And we are good to go. Thanks, Brittany. All right, I'm gonna close that up. I don't think I forgot to do anything. So if you didn't put on your nameplate or handmade tag either, you could do it the same time you do that turn lock. The same exact way. Oh my gosh, I just ran out of bobbin. That was the last of my bobbin. Woohoo! All right. All right, let me just poke those corners in there. Nice and good. Come on. Okay. Guys, that is our wallet. And I want to show you. Ah, turned out so cute. Oh, I love it. Do you see my zipper tabs? Looks a little better. So this is doing the actual tab, and this is sewing it in like she has in the pattern. So that's the difference on the tabs. And I could probably poke that out a little bit more as well. All right, guys, we made it through. I made it through. Marilyn Wallet. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I hope this helps. This is seriously, this is the wallet I carry. Like, Marilyn is my go-to for my personal wallet. It's the perfect size for me. I absolutely love it. So, yeah. Hopefully this helped, everybody. Okay, thanks for joining. I hope you guys are all doing good. I hope you have a beautiful Sunday, and we will see you guys next time. Bye.